Armstrong. There are things like Patreon that do help some people do good things. But then there are those who take advantage of those things like Patreon, and don't do such good things with it. I don't know, I don't have any examples, but what we're saying is Ina and I are sitting here. I have a job where I make money to take care of us, so we're sitting here just trying to help people with our iPhone, and our experience, and the knowledge that we've gained through our experience and our research. And it doesn't cost us anything. It costs us a little bit of time to sit here with our iPhone, and it's just as effective as somebody setting up a studio somewhere. jw.org. That costs millions of dollars, right? So
billions of dollars.
Yeah. So so we're just trying to be helpful with our little iPhone and little space, sitting in our uncomfortable chairs. But it's good. It's good. We do this for free.
Yeah, and
if you guys don't like us, you don't have to subscribe to us.
No, and
sometimes we rattle on.
What is the video? Sorry.
Spit on me. Go ahead.
What is the video? What is the video that you wanted to share?
Okay, let me lead into it, but just kind of going back to dysfunctional families. Looking back, Ina and I have been together for 28 years. Looking back on 28 years of her talking to me about families that she knows in the organization, I cannot think of one where she says, this man was an elder, his two daughters were a pioneer, the wife was a pioneer, and everybody was happy and everything was perfect. Not one. But I can think of, from the time that I was a witness, and even after I left the witnesses, she still told me about this man was an elder. He'd been an elder as long as she can remember, but turns out he was molesting his kids. Or the daughter, she was going to the meetings forever, and then all of a sudden she disappeared, never heard from her again. And the family, turns out, hasn't talked to her for 15 years.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy.
Turns out this ministerial servant was beating his wife and was never even removed. Just story after story after story after story. Or this elder was an alcoholic. Just one after another, one after another. So you look into Jehovah's Witnesses, and you go to the meeting, and you go to the Kingdom Hall, and you see this, what looks like a perfect family. It's not. It's not. There's problems. There's problems because the demographic for a Jehovah's Witness, a Jehovah's Witness is a sales and marketing corporation. The demographic is somebody who is having emotional, financial, family problems, right? And it's right there in the literature. My husband had just left me, and I was praying for some kind of spiritual intervention, and all of a sudden Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on my door. Or I had loved my husband for 56 years, and he died of cancer, and I was crying, and all of a sudden Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on my door, and now I have the hope of seeing my husband again. Or just on and on and on. The demographic for Jehovah's Witnesses to sell their organization to people is screwed up people. And so it's going to be full of screwed up people, people with problems. Nobody gets helped by Jehovah. People in the organization still die of cancer. People in the organization still get in car accidents and die. People in the organization still get sick. You don't have Jehovah. People in the organization are people. Just like your next door neighbor. Your next door neighbor may even be happier than a Jehovah's Witness, because you know what? When something bad happens, or they are overwhelmed with life, they won't call their preacher or their elder, and the elder says, oh, go out and service, study more, pray more. They will find a therapist. and go talk about it. They will find a friend and go talk about it. They will go to their mother or their father and talk about it and get love and help from people that love them. But the Jehovah's Witnesses, for the most part, tear families apart. You can't go to your mother as a Jehovah's Witness daughter, to your Jehovah's Witness mother, and say, Mom, I'm having this problem and this problem and this problem. And the mother's going to say, well, let's find you a therapist. Let's find you help. No, the mother's going to say, let's talk to the elders. They'll know. Study more, pray more, go out in service more. No, these aren't helpful. These are not helpful things. These elders, they're window washers. They're plumbers.
Arborists.
What's that?
Arborists.
I know where you're going with that. Most of the time, living a double life, because they're people too. And you can't be an elder for more than a year and not see the bad that goes on, the injustice that goes on, and stay an elder if you are a good person.
Those elders go to therapists.
You can't be an elder for 40 years and be a good person. Sorry, you were doing the same things to people that you are now condemning. You were doing it.
Well, and those elders go to therapists. They go to a therapist.
Some elders go to therapists, hence the double life.
Yeah, and they, I don't know if they. I have never heard of an elder encouraging psychotherapy.
So, the video that I wanted to link, Long Road to Hoe, we always get off and start going down some other road, but it all kind of links back together. We have no script, obviously. We're just telling our experiences with life, things that come off the top of our head. But I tried for years to believe in God. Like Enoch, I didn't have a me when I left. I had nothing. I had nobody. Nobody. For 20 years I had nobody. I still went to Jehovah's Witness gatherings with her, parties and stuff like that. Where, by the way, just about every single time I went to a Jehovah's Witness gathering, whether it was a kid's party or not, some elder or ministerial servant, first thing he would do is hand me a beer or a hard drink. And I don't drink. Anyway, drinking is a problem in the organization. We'll get on that somewhere else. But I tried to believe in God longer than she tried to believe in God. And so I went down the road of researching the history of religion, God, the Bible, the history of the Bible. Wow, there's so much information out there. Archaeologists, biologists, scholars, secular scholars, Bible scholars. Just because you're a Bible scholar doesn't mean that you believe in the Bible. It just means that you've studied the Bible and studied the history of the Bible, the history of the writings. It started becoming more and more clear to me that Christianity was plagiarism of ancient religions. Because there were other Jesuses with 12 followers and born of a virgin, crucified, dead for 3 days, raised, savior of men, all of those things before Jesus was ever even talked about 10,000 years ago in Egyptian religions and other religions that popped up throughout the world. And so it started becoming more and more clear to me. And by the way, a lot of the Bible stories are plagiarized as well from other ancient literatures, especially the Noah's Ark is plagiarized from the Epic of Gilgamesh. It was written 1,000 years before Genesis 1:1. So it started becoming clear to me that the Bible's a man-made book and God is a man-made concept. And so for years I was an atheist. Ina was a Jehovah's Witness. That was tough. I didn't know. She got angry at me anytime I tried to say anything. But about 7 years ago, I came across a video of a former religious man who laid out, this video is over an hour long. He laid out his journey becoming free from a belief in God. And it's probably the most articulate, most well put together video on that subject that I've ever seen. And it's simply called Why I No Longer Believe in God. And we will put the link below to that video. And I really, really recommend that everybody check that out. But I had already come to the same conclusion that he came to, and yeah, it's undeniable. And like I said earlier, we have the knowledge of all of mankind on our phones. Ignorance is a choice these days, and religion likes to keep you ignorant. You know it. So
well, we've experienced it. If you're a Jehovah's Witness that is listening to this, then you see a lot of hypocrisy. And it doesn't feel comfortable.
Hopefully you see
know, yeah, hopefully, well, you stay in it long enough, you're going to see hypocrisy. And I know that when my husband would tell me things after Kingdom Hall,
after meeting?
Going to the Kingdom Hall, after going to the meetings, he would bring things out that were hypocritical. And then I knew some backstories that I didn't even tell him. It made it hard for me not to see it or deny it, because he was telling me the truth, which felt very uncomfortable as a Jehovah's Witness, because I wanted to, I wanted whatever they were selling, which was, I wanted to see my dad, my grandmother. I wanted to have a beautiful earth where people would have true peace and security. These are things that you're sold on, and it's very important to know what this is. These are things that through centuries have people held onto, that people have held onto. It was done a different way, but the same in a certain way. I call it manufactured. For as Jehovah's Witnesses, it was manufactured thoughts. They put it in a book for us. And then they gave us an artist's conception of what the earth will be, which was, that's what I wanted. I wanted those things. Now, I'm learning to deconstruct the thought. And that is hard right now for me, because it's been all those years of life. As an adult, you think these things are really gonna happen. And then you see age. Right? And we weren't supposed to age.
All of us know, I was told I would never make it to high school before Armageddon. A pretty famous Bible scholar that you probably all know, I won't say his name here, who used to be a Jehovah's Witness, his grandmother told him he'd never make it to 6th grade. Well, he's 90 years old. All of us have that experience. All of us know somebody who's had that experience. Everybody who's been a Jehovah's Witness. Nobody ever thought you were going to grow old, because Armageddon is tomorrow. Armageddon was going to be 1914, then it was going to be 1915, then it was going to be 1919, then it was going to be 1925, then it was going to be 1942, then it was going to be 1975, then it was going to be before the end of the 20th century, and now it's just going to be soon. At some point, you got to tell yourself, something's up here. They're telling us these things just to keep us in. These are hooks. Advertisers use hooks to keep you in.
And there's no deep details, because I had a sister in my Huntington Beach congregation, Ocean View. She loved her animals, and she said, Jehovah's going to bring back my dog. I know Jehovah's going to bring back my dog. And I thought, okay. He's going to bring your dog back, but the baby that I lost, that I never got to see, he's not going to bring that back, that child back, because my mother-in-law had told me, no, you're not going to see that child again. And it was hard for me. I couldn't figure out why. And so these are all things that you start to break down in your mind. I like Religion for Breakfast. It's a really good YouTube channel. And he's not for religion or against religion. He just gives you he breaks down the information so that you understand how religion got to where it is today.
Any religion.
Any religion. And that, when I went into my little study group, I thought that's what I was going to get. I thought, okay, now I'm going to get clarification on the book of Acts, and we're going to get a deep study of what that is. Instead, I got a lot of emotion. And when I looked up, I got some Bible encyclopedias, and I looked up the book of Acts. And you just go down a few verses of Acts and you get all sorts of information about how scholars disagree about just like 2 verses of the book of Acts, and on those 2 verses. And I didn't realize how much controversy there is in the Bible by even Bible scholars who are true Bible scholars that really deeply believe in the book, but realize that there's a lot of inconsistencies, and it reflects a lot of Canaanite beliefs, beliefs that the Jews of the people that they lived around, how it went into their rituals, the Jewish rituals at the time. You get a really deep understanding of why they did what they did and how it's been adopted. It's very good. I liked it a lot. Religion for Breakfast. And it's not for religion. It's not for Christianity or against Christianity. He just gives it to you.
Well, he's not even talking just about Christianity. Once you see facts, the things people believe, why they believe them, all of the religions that were before Christianity, the religions that exist now that are not Christianity, these people believe in their God and their religion just as fervently, just as solid in their beliefs as a Jehovah's Witness is in their beliefs, or a Mormon is in their beliefs. So you got to start to think to yourself, well, there's something to this. There's something to this.
Mm-hmm.
This has to do with our mind. This has to do with our hearts. We can be manipulated to believe anything. People have been around for a long time. There's a lot of unscrupulous people who know how to manipulate others for their gain, for their benefit, for their agenda. And this is what's been going on for thousands of years. Thousands of years. Long before anybody said Jesus or Jehovah.
I think that was helpful in my escape as a runaway slave from religious clutches at that point, because I realized, Jehovah's Witnesses already break down all the religions around you and tell you why you can't or you shouldn't go back to them or go to them and why they're wrong. But then you go into Jehovah's Witness you go into their organization and their corporation, and they say, "Oh no, we're right." And then you realize, well, for one thing, if you don't even get to this point where you feel safe enough to look at a video, you're stuck. So fortunately, people are showing you what happens maybe in a back room, or you hear things from other brothers and sisters that tell you the bad things that have happened to them. And I have to tell you, it's taken a long time because I heard all the bad things. I know it's bad, but I thought they've always said to cover over, to cover over, to cover over, to cover over, and not look at it, and that Jehovah will take care of it. And those are the words that you think are going to make it better, and that isn't going to make it better. And you can get very abused. And if you stay in long enough, your mental state will be so fragile that you won't even feel like you're strong enough to get out. But we're here to say that you can make it, and if you have support, there's a lot of support that is out there. It's hard to tell you any one particular group. You have to kind of stay away from all the groups for a while in order for you to get better.
Just back up and
Videos are great.
see the forest for the trees. Go into anything that you are looking into with an open mind and a little bit of skepticism. Skepticism is a very, very safe, it can protect you from being fooled. And there's a playbook. There's a playbook, psychological playbook that religions, politics, businesses all use to manipulate you and use you in the very same ways. It's been going on for thousands of years. So just be very, very careful. And don't deny facts. No matter how much you want to believe something. Billions of people can believe something is true. It doesn't mean it is. It doesn't mean it is. Because billions of people do believe something is true that just isn't. So let the facts educate you. And go where the facts lead you. Whether it's comfortable or not. Go ahead.
I like Maxime Jouhan Chevalier. He was the one that wrote on Quora. So I'll put that down. And the question that I typed in was, what are the best support groups for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses? And that little article was very helpful. I wish I had had it before I had gotten into my little ex-cult group, my ExJW group. And then, it's nice that now we can quietly see things that we didn't before. Both of us now. Because even after, we still got into almost another
business cult.
Business cult, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and he didn't even see it.
At first I didn't see it.
He didn't even see it.
She saw it. I'm so proud of her.
And I'm like, this isn't feeling right. Yeah, so, you get smarter, and it's hard. It's hard to be able to identify and good people, because your compass point is really messed up.
Yep. All right, is that enough for now?
That's enough, I think. Hopefully we didn't repeat ourselves, and if we did, I'm going to clean it up.
We always repeat ourselves.
I'm going to clean it up, so
anyway,
it's not long. We hope this helps you.
We hope it helps you.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, you want to talk to us about anything, let us know.
Yep. This is our dog, Duchess.
This is our dog, Duchess.
We've aged her since we've had her. Poor little
She's
thing. She was all black. Now she looks more like me.
About 100
I
years
look
old.
more like her. I'm getting the whites.
And she says, follow your
Wisdom.
bliss.
Yes.
Follow your bliss.
Follow your bliss.
Be good humans.
Be good humans.
And if you come around, feed me. Okay. Bye, everybody.